Zoldyck Tricks, and today we're just going to be discussing the top 10 strongest Zodiacs in Hunter x Hunter. And yes, I say it with the X, as you should. That's the proper way to say it. It was actually a little clash on Twitter discussing like the right way to say it. I mean, that is the right way, but I'm not going to acknowledge it. So, but yeah, anyways, for this channel, I plan to make at least a couple videos a week. So if you like that, please like and subscribe, and hopefully you stay tuned. But now that we got that out of the way, let's continue to the video. Okay, at number 10 we have Killua. Killua is by far the weakest Zodiac we've seen thus far. Nah, I'm messing with y'all. Of course he's not the weakest Zodiac in the family. Of course not. We're gonna go to Maluki. Okay, for Maluki, it was actually hard to choose him between either him or Kikyo. You all know who Kikyo is, that's Killua's mom. But yeah, it was actually hard to choose between them two. Maybe thinking about it, I'll probably switch them back, but for now I'm gonna keep them in the same place. But yeah, for Maluki, it's because he's smart, he can use Nin, he's great at negotiation, and he can create tons of stuff. If this sounds like I'm going down a list, it's probably because I am, so. But yeah, he's not that physically strong, so that's why I have him at 10. Like, he can't really do anything, but like, smarts is not bad at all, but like, in Hunter x Hunter, you can get past that plenty if you don't actually have the strength to back it up. He is stronger than the average person, so I'll give him that because he has Nin, but compared to the rest of the Zodiacs, nah, he's not that strong. And besides those other weaknesses, he sucks at torture, like, well, maybe he does, we don't know, because he was trying to torture Killua, and Killua was trained for that. It will most likely hurt like the average person, so I'll give him a fly for that. Another weakness is that he lets his emotions get to him way too easily. Like, I don't know if it's just Killua, actually I know it's just not Killua, but I know Killua can really trigger him, and in a fight, that would be like detrimental. It would be like really bad if he got mad, so yeah. That's another reason why he's at number 10. I was gonna give another reason to his haircut, but nah, we just gonna skip that. On to number 9. Okay, next up we have Kikyo Zodiac, however you say her name. But for her strengths, I have she's cruel. She knocked out Canary, which it wasn't with Nin or anything. It was with a weapon. But she was able to use her Nin well enough that Canary couldn't sense her. So that actually proves that like she's really good at using her Nin. And Canary isn't weak, so I'm definitely gonna give props to her. And a lot of people probably don't know this, but she was actually raised in Meteor City, so that actually means she most likely has a lot of experience and stuff, like fighting and stuff. And she actually met Silver there, so she probably could have been doing like some assassination stuff while they met. And you know, while I'm thinking about this, maybe that's how they met. Maybe they was assassinated to kill each other and just didn't do it because they fell in love. I don't know. Maybe I'll make a video about that. But anyway, she's a manipulator just like Maluki, but I'm giving her the advantage just because she's physically strong. And like I said, while smarts is actually really useful, I feel like physical ability is actually more useful when it comes to like assassination and stuff. I don't know. Depends on the context, but she is a rash and emotional person, so that could be seen as a weakness. I just don't think she's as crazy as Maluki, but maybe she is. That's why I was really skeptical about making her 9. I might just change it back, who knows. But yeah, for now, I'm just gonna keep her at 9. So at number 8 I have Kalito, I really don't know how to pronounce his name, but yeah, he's really strong as well. But yeah, a reason I'm giving him number 8 is because he has a good control of his emotions. Like, I will always say this, like, if you don't have your emotions in check while you're an assassin, that's just gonna mess up your line of work. But he also was strong enough to join the Phantom Troop, so that's actually really great. Like, that really shows how strong he is and like how much potential he has, so I will give him that. Granted, he really was shocked at their strength, but the fact they acknowledged him and they allowed him to join shows just how much potential he really has. But yeah, he can cut steel with his fans, which is actually a really great ability. And he was able to hide well enough from, I'm probably gonna butcher this name, but Nolanov and Franklin. Which, if one of your favorite arcs is York New City like me, and you remember Gon and Killua trying to hide from the Phantom Troops, you can understand why this is actually such a big deal. He's actually really great at stealth, like he's better at it than Killua, which is another reason why people say his potential could possibly be higher than Killua's. Like, if you remember, Gon and Killua were able to do that for like a good while. Like, they were able to hide, but the Phantom Troops were able to sense them. They just couldn't pinpoint their location. Kaluta though, he was completely hidden, so I will give him that. He definitely surpassed Killua in the stealth department. But I feel like he definitely trained with Nin way before Killua, because like he already had a Nin ability and he had no reason being that good with it, so I just want to know who he's been training with. But for his weaknesses, I'm gonna put he likes to play with his victims, which can be seen like, yeah, that's definitely a weakness. because you're not able to focus on the job. So, and he definitely questions his own abilities, because if you've seen his reaction to the Phantom Troop's abilities, he was really starting to question himself, which is actually kind of funny because he walked into the Phantom Troop thinking he was gonna skyrocket his way to be the captain, which, like, bro, relax, you're strong, but you are not Corolla level yet, so you have to chill with that. But next up, for real though, I actually have Killua. Now, knowing me, I could go on and on about Killua because he is my favorite character in Hunter x Hunter, besides like Hisoka and Knuckles. But like I said, I can go on and on about Killua because we've been with him throughout the whole series. I mean, we've seen him at his weakest and we've seen him at his strongest. But yeah, let's just go through his strengths. Okay, so for one of his strengths, he did fight a Chimera Ant, which may not seem like that big of a deal, but Chimera Ants are actually really strong. Like, even the most basic ones are actually pretty strong. It's just that Killua overpowered them easily, and we've had so much time to develop him that it only makes sense that he was able to do that. But another reason is that he's really dangerous when he's serious. Like, the few times we've seen him actually go 100%, those are his most dangerous moments. Like, if you don't remember, he did threaten Sardoso in Heaven's Arena during that arc. And Sardoso was actually very intimidated, so we can definitely say he's really dangerous when he actually takes stuff seriously. He also has the potential to be the strongest Zodiac in existence. This was actually stated multiple times throughout the series, and like, it's been hinted at for a while now. And it's actually said that like the #1 hint that this is true is because he was born with white hair, and Zodiacs born with white hair are usually the most powerful. And for this next reason, he could possibly be #1 on this list, and that's the fact that he can control something. Literally no one has been able to do this. Literally Illumi, who's a master at manipulation, and you know her power is like literally the most overpowered in Hunter x Hunter. Like, we probably haven't even seen the full extent of something's power. She literally has the power to wipe out the Zodiac family members in literally an instant. Like, if you can't get more powerful than that, then I don't know what is. The only thing that could possibly be more powerful is probably stuff you could find in the Dark Continent. But yeah, honestly, potentially, Killua could destroy the world with all of his power, since he's pretty much the only one that can control it in the first place. Until, you know, we probably get Hunter x Hunter again, and maybe Illumi starts controlling her, but we'll have to see. But yeah, going on to his abilities and like his strength, he's really damn powerful. Godspeed is actually such an overpowered ability, it's not even funny. Killua should not have been able to go toe to toe with Yuppie, but he was able to do that with his ability. Granted, I will say this can be seen as a weakness, but it also cannot be seen as a weakness. It doesn't really do that much damage, but it does stun the enemy, which could also be used as like team combos for like when Gon and Killua was fighting Ramit. Not to mention, he can make his body automatically react to when someone gets into a certain distance of him, and he can move incredibly fast. Honestly, Killua's abilities are so versatile it's not even funny. The fact he basically has Ultra Instinct before Goku had Ultra Instinct just makes it so much better to me. He also had rapid results with his nin training. He was actually way faster than Gon too. Like Wing said, Gon and Killua are like 1 in a million. Probably 1 in a billion, to be honest. Like, they have so much potential. He was also able to pass the Hunter exam in an hour and a half, which he did kind of cheat, but we're not going to get into that. He passed it in under an hour and 30 minutes, so I'm going to give him that. But yeah, he also fought Pooh, which isn't as powerful as Yuppie in terms of like raw strength, but he did fight him. Okay, so next up we have Illumi. I'm not really going to go too much into Illumi's abilities because I've already made a video about that, so I'm just going to skim through it. But #1 thing is he's a manipulator, and as such he can control people. And we've seen him control multiple people at the same time. We've seen him control multiple bodies at the same time because he can control corpses. He can also make the corpses speak, which is like a really powerful ability, especially for stealth. And another reason I'm going to put him above Killua is because he did control Killua for a good part of his life. Granted, Killua did remove the needle, so I'll give him that, but Killua is still kind of afraid of him, or at least he's cautious of him, which he should be. And honestly, in my opinion, I feel like Killua could actually beat Illumi if he tried to speed blitz him and try to stun him with his electric attacks. So I feel like if Killua definitely didn't hesitate, he definitely could kill him if he wanted to, but also same with Illumi because he's not to be underestimated. Okay, next up is Zeno, and I think we can all agree that Zeno is more powerful than Illumi. We've actually seen him be very smart, and he's great at analysis. Do you know how smart you have to be and how much experience you have to be able to figure out Corolla's nin ability that fast? He literally figured out Corolla's nin ability in one fight, which literally blows my mind, so for literally that reason, I'm putting him above Illumi. But he did state that if it's a fight to the death, Corolla would win, so I feel like younger Zeno would definitely be able to beat Corolla in his prime. He defeated Cheeto easily, which Cheeto is kind of a high ranked Chimera Ant, kind of, but he's kind of stupid, so. And I've said this before, but he has a lot of experience with his age, and experience can definitely mean the difference between life and death. Also, he's really known as basically the king of the underworld. It's said that people in the underground world that knows of Zeno are usually terrified of him, which if you're able to leave that kind of rep on you, then you definitely deserve to be number 5 on this list. And he basically compared himself to Netero, comparing them both as yin and yang, which are basically saying they are connected in two sides of the same coin. Which Netero is stronger, that's already confirmed, but the fact that he's comparing himself like that to him shows that he must really believe it. And next up for number 4 we have Silva. And honestly, I only have one reason to put him over Zeno, and that's the fact that he's the leader of the family right now. Of course, we already know he's really powerful, but we haven't gotten his full backstory and stuff yet. But again, he is the leader of the family, so I can only assume that that's the reason why he's in charge, is because he's the strongest. And next up we have a Zoldyck. A lot of people don't know because he's not in the anime, but he's called Zoldyck. And Zoldyck did accompany Netero to the Dark Continent, so you know he has to be very powerful. We've heard plenty of times from multiple different people how powerful the beings at the Dark Continent are. Some of the beings can literally wipe out humanity in an instant. We don't really have a lot to say about him, so we're just gonna go to number 2. And next up is Maha Zoldyck, which is kind of controversial, so I'll go into that in a second. But actually, Maha is actually hinted to being stronger than Netero. And this is when Netero was younger and most likely at his prime, so you have to this really says a lot about his strength. But it is speculated that Zig and Maha are the same people, so we're gonna have to see more about that if we ever return to the series. So if that ever gets confirmed, I guess this is a top 9 list, not a top 10 list. But finally for number 1, it was kinda obvious, but I have to put Alaka at number 1. She's not very powerful besides having something, and something is one of the most overpowered people in Hunter x Hunter. She can't control it herself, but maybe in the future she might be able to, and if she ever gets that ability to, she is going to be the most overpowered person in Hunter x Hunter. Until we see something else from the Dark Continent at least. But that's actually it for this video. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like on it. I actually greatly appreciate that because it does help the algorithm out and it will help this channel out, so thank you for that. Also, if you want to see more Hunter x Hunter content, again, say the X. If you do want to see more Hunter x Hunter content, please subscribe. I greatly appreciate that as well. But without further ado, I will see you guys later.